Okay, I'm back, y'all, at Divinely Grateful Risings. How are y'all doing today? I hope you're having a fantastic day. Welcome to Bible Clarity. I hope y'all are doing well and that everything is starting off fantastic for you. Y'all, we in the book of Deuteronomy. We breezing on through it, right? Our commitment to the cross, our commitment to the cause. We are going through the entire Bible. We are reading the entire Bible, y'all, 2 chapters at a time. So today we are on Deuteronomy 13 and 14. Okay, Deuteronomy 13 and 14. I'm excited, y'all. We just got done talking about the chosen place for God's worship, wherever he's sending you to worship. And we also talked about blessings for obedience and how he's going to send rain at the proper time. It's all about following the instructions, y'all, making sure we're being obedient with what he's given us to do. We all get, come on, oh, look, that's something that, okay, I'm back. Message, but I received that, right? He gives us instructions. So it's about us just following the instructions that he's given us and continuing to do our best, y'all. We aren't always going to get it right. So please keep that in mind. We're not always going to get it right. But the Lord, one thing certain, two things to show, he gives us an A for effort. Okay. Especially if you really are doing the best you can, right? To try to be obedient. So all to do it. Let's get to it. Let's get to Deuteronomy 13 and 14. We're starting off Deuteronomy 13, talks about a warning against idolatry. Okay, a warning against idolatry. So all to do it. Here we go, y'all. Deuteronomy 13. And of course, I'm using the One Step Closer Bible. This is in the NLT. Y'all know, this is my favorite Bible. So all they do it. Here we go, y'all. A warning against idolatry, Deuteronomy 13. Suppose there are prophets among you, or those who dream dreams about the future, and they promise you signs or miracles, and the predicted signs or miracles occur. If they then say, "Come, let us worship other gods, gods you have not known before," do not listen to them. Pause. Y'all, I cannot make this up. This happened to me in real life. This was years ago. It's before I knew anything about, like, I really was not on this walk with the Lord. I didn't know. I didn't know. Okay, let me say this. This happened in real life. And so, I know now when you know better, you do better. But I was tripping because, of course, this is not the first time I've read through this already before, but I read it again the other day, and I literally was like, OMG, it made me think about how I was in this very same situation. Y'all know I'm going to always say, I literally feel like I'm walking out the word. We're all stepping into our promised land. And the promised land to me is it can be a physical location, but the promised land is also a mindset for me. It's also spiritual growth and development. Like, it's so many levels to what I feel is the promised land. This is just my opinion of it and what I think and what the Lord has shown me, right? And so, but the promise begins with the mindset, first believing in the promise, believing in the Lord and what he's showing us here in the word. And so anyway, okay, I'm back, but I had to share that because that real deal happened. Y'all didn't know what I was doing, Lord. The Lord your God is testing you to see if you truly love him with all your heart and soul. Serve only the Lord your God and fear him alone. Obey his commands, listen to his voice, and cling to him. The false prophets or visionaries who try to lead you astray must be put to death, for they encourage rebellion against the Lord your God, who redeemed you from slavery and brought you out of the land of Egypt. Since they try to lead you astray from the Lord, from the way the Lord your God commanded you to live, you must put them to death. We ain't killing nobody, of course. Message, okay? In this way, you will purge the evil from among you. Suppose someone secretly entices you, even your brother, your son or daughter, your beloved wife, or your closest friend, and says, "Let us go worship other gods, gods that neither you nor your ancestors have known." They might suggest that you worship the gods of peoples who live nearby or who come from the ends of the earth, but do not give in or listen to them. Have no pity and do not spare or protect them. You must put them to death. Strike the first blow yourself, and then all people must join in. Stone the guilty ones to death because they have tried to draw you away from the Lord your God, who rescued you from the land of Egypt, the place of slavery. Then all Israel will hear about it and be afraid, and no one will act so wickedly again. When you begin living in the towns the Lord your God is giving you, you may hear that scoundrels among you are leading their fellow citizens astray by saying, "Let us go worship other gods, gods you have not known before." In such cases, you must examine the facts carefully. If you find that the report is true and such a detestable act has been committed among you, you must attack that town and completely destroy all its inhabitants, as well as all the livestock. Then you must pile all the plunder in the middle of the open square and burn it. Burn the entire town as a burnt offering to the Lord your God. That town must remain a ruin forever. It may never be rebuilt. Keep none of the plunder that has been set apart for destruction. Then the Lord will turn from his fierce anger and be merciful to you. He will have compassion on you and make you a large nation, just as he swore to your ancestors. The Lord your God will be merciful only if you listen to his voice and keep all his commands that I am giving you today, doing what pleases him. Mercy and grace. Let me read this. These verses, and this talks about Deuteronomy 13, 17 and 18, and it says these verses make it clear that God's mercy is extended to those whose hearts are sincere. The Israelites were headed for a land that, much like our society today, was infested with materialism, the craving of creature comforts, and the good life. God is not interested in sharing his mercy with those who simply need a quick fix for the problems their sinful lifestyles have created. Such people have no intentions of accepting God's mercy as a new lease on life. They are simply looking for a way to save themselves from deserved consequences. God wants to show us abundant mercy, but he is looking for those who will gratefully accept it and allow it to change the way they live. Do you want God's mercy as a quick fix or as a permanent new way of life? Life me up, okay? Life me up. I really feel like y'all in this season, especially this last year, as the Lord has had me on a different walk. Like I live differently, y'all. The same things don't matter. Like the things that when I started out on this journey, y'all, I wanted things that were completely different. And this is long before this last year. And I had this talk with the Lord the other day. When I started out on this path, man, I was chasing the bag. I was chasing money. I was all about trying to get the money, get the money. And now, like, money is the only reason I wanted it so I can be a blessing to other people. The Lord has humbled me to the point where it's just like I understand, like, money is just a resource. We need it, right? Because we need to take care of ourselves. But the Lord provides what we need. And once he knows that you're going to be a good steward with what he's given you, what he's blessed you with, he'll provide you more, and he continues to show that. And I'm grateful, right? I'm grateful that the Lord continues to provide. He continues to show us more, give us more, as we show that we are resourceful and that we're going to do the right things with the blessings that he has given us. Okay. Deuteronomy 14, ceremonially clean and unclean. Lord your God, never cut yourselves or shave the hair above your foreheads in mourning for the dead. You have been set apart as holy to the Lord your God, and he has chosen you from all the nations of the earth to be his own special treasure. You must not eat any detestable animals that are ceremonially unclean. I tell y'all right now that, look, I hope that didn't mess the video up. It's prayer time, but I'll do that as soon as I'm finished with this. You must not eat any detestable animals that are ceremonially unclean. These are the animals you may eat: the ox, the sheep, the goat, the deer, the gazelle, the roe deer, the wild goat, the addax, the antelope, and the mountain sheep. You may eat any animal that has completely split hooves and choose the cud, but if the animal doesn't have both, it may not be eaten. So you may not eat the camel, the hare, or the hyrax. They chew the cud but do not have split hooves, so they are ceremonially unclean for you. And you may not eat the pig. Okay, some people don't eat pork. I'm not of that nature. I will eat pork. I don't eat it very often anymore. I do eat bacon still, mostly more than anything. That's pretty much the only pork I eat. But I'll tell you, I ain't had a fried pork chop, y'all. Oh my gosh, I probably hadn't had a fried pork chop in like 2 years. Ain't that crazy? Anyway, it has split hooves, but does not chew the cud, so it is ceremonially unclean for you. You may not eat the meat of these animals or even touch their carcasses. Of all the marine animals, you may eat whatever has both fins and scales. You may not, however, eat marine animals that do not have both fins and scales. They are ceremonially unclean for you. You may eat any bird that is ceremonially clean. These are the birds you may not eat: the griffin vulture, the bearded vulture, the black vulture, the kite, the falcon, buzzards of all kinds, ravens of all kinds, the eagle, the short eared owl, or the eagle owl, the short eared owl, the seagull, hawks of all kinds, the little owl, the great owl, the barn owl, the desert owl. Don't eat no owls, okay? The Egyptian vulture, the cormorant, the stork, herons of all kinds, the hoopoe, and the bat. I don't want no bat. I got to go back to this. Let me just say, I will eat some shrimp. I don't eat them a whole lot, but and some crab legs. I'm just, well, thank you, Lord. What? Because I'll be messing some of them up. I don't eat them very often, but when I do, okay. All winged insects that walk along the ground are ceremonially unclean for you and may not be eaten, but you may eat any winged bird or insect that is ceremonially clean. You must not eat anything that has died a natural death. You must give it to a foreigner living in your town, or you may sell it to a stranger, but do not eat it for yourselves, for you are set apart as holy to the Lord your God. You must not cook a young goat in its mother's milk. I still don't know what that means. The giving of tithes, the giving of tithes. You must set aside the tithe of your crops, 1/10 of all the crops that you harvest each year. Bring this tithe to the designated place of worship, the place the Lord your God chooses for his name to be honored, and eat it there in his presence. This applies to your tithes of grain, new wine, olive oil, and the firstborn males of your flocks and herds. Doing this will teach you always to fear the Lord your God. Now, when the Lord your God blesses you with a good harvest, the place of worship he chooses for his name to be honored might be too far for you to bring your tithe. If so, you may sell the tithe portion of your crops and herds, put the money in a pouch, and go to the place the Lord your God has chosen. When you arrive, you may use the money to buy any kind of food you want: cattle, sheep, goats, wine, or other alcoholic drink. Then feast there in the presence of the Lord your God and celebrate with your household. And do not neglect the Levites in your town, for they will receive no allotment of land among you. At the end of every third year, bring the entire tithe of that year's harvest and store it in the nearest town. Give it to the Levites, who will receive no allotment of land among you, as well as to foreigners living among you, the orphans and the widows in your town, so they can eat and be satisfied. Then the Lord your God will bless you in all your work. The end. Okay, the end. So that is it, y'all. That is it. I hope this helped, y'all. Make sure that you go back, reread this. I do. I'm reading it with y'all, then I go back and watch it with y'all, and then I'll even read it on my own time, because I feel like there's always revelation that comes in every time we read the word. Okay, that's it. Lord, I hope this helps somebody. Y'all hydrate your soul and things, drink your water, say your gratitude. Thank y'all so very, very much for going on this Bible clarity journey with me. I'm so truly grateful. Make sure you tap in for the message as well, weekdays at 7:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And I'll see y'all on the next one. Okay, love y'all in real life. Bye.